Welcome back. Now, if you're like a lot of us and feel that you've tried every diet out there, nothing seems to work, it could come down to your personality. There is some new research in a book out that says the key to losing weight is avoiding the foods that clash with your personality type. Health and fitness expert Amelia Burton here and our psychotherapist Jackie Fury. Girls, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, I got it. It explains it all. It's my personality.
You can hang your hat on that now. There's your excuse. It's okay, I'm an emotional eater, so everyone, that's fine. I'm emotional eating. It's okay.
Now I know what I mean, it is amazing, but the trouble is I actually think there's a little bit to be said in it. Would you agree, Jackie?
Oh, there's something to be said in being aware of how you respond to what's happening in your life and how you use food or how you use alcohol. But I like it when one of my clients once said that she's a very peaceful person. She looks at food and she wants a piece of everything.
I'm liking that.
She's a comfort eater.
Yeah.
She said, no, I don't want to change that. She said, I'm quite happy.
Okay, we're going to look at these personality types, so listen up, people.
Yep.
But first of all, let me run through them. There's compulsive eaters, there's impulsive eaters, emotional eaters, anxious eaters, compulsive eaters. Now, I'm ticking every box here, so let's start at the top. Okay, what's a compulsive eater?
So when a compulsive eater is somebody who tends to have a bit of an excessive personality type, so you tend to maybe be slightly more argumentative, you can be a bit of a grudge bearer, be prone to excess, you can maybe have trouble sleeping. So what this Dr. Amen recommends is that people like that should have more complex carbohydrates in their diet. So brown rice, they want bananas and then some sunflower seeds, maybe some salmon and some skinless turkey. But what you want to avoid are things like high protein diets and your caffeine.
Okay, with a compulsive personality, what does that say to you, Jackie?
I think you need to grab them, shake them by the shoulders and say, stop it. No, just joking. I think but look, if you had a good friend, you'd hope they'd do that. With compulsive personalities, you know, it's often more to do with the fact that they have an intense inner critic that drives them all the time. And so what they do is they rebel, and they rebel because the critic's saying you've got to be perfect. And so what they do is they go into a wounded child where they say, well, I won't. And as we know, you cannot control a wounded child. They will just have that tantrum. And that's what a lot of compulsive eating is. It's just tantrum, like you say.
And you often have partners that try to be really supportive, where they'll say, oh, honey, should you really be having that fourth biscuit?
Who would contribute in such a helpful way?
Yeah, and you know what happens. You don't want me to have that. I'm going to have 10. I'll finish the packet.
So compulsive means argumentative and prone to excess.
Yeah, and you're thinking about food
like
all
that
the
at all.
time.
Okay, impulsive eaters.
Okay, so this is the kind of person who eats when they're not hungry. It's someone who...
Who eats when they're hungry?
Ringing any bells, anyone? Prone to eating when not hungry. They're easily distracted. They tend to be disorganized and frequently running late. Now, if this fits the bill for you, you want to be eating a higher protein diet, so steak, fish, chicken, eggs, oats and green tea, and avoiding more of a high sugary, high carbohydrate diet.
Okay, an impulsive person, when you look at it, easily distracted and disorganized.
Yeah. Well, I think it's all about time management for them and containment. It's about them learning to stand still and saying, do I need to? It's like, I think Michelle says, doesn't she, you know, surf the urge. You know, so rather than react, try and respond.
So impulsive's like, you know, you don't even think what you're picking up and putting in your mouth.
I call it hand-to-mouth disease, where you literally... And you know what a good tip
like that.
is to imagine a big red stop sign. So imagine, when you're in that situation, imagine a big red stop sign and just stop. Yeah. Take a deep breath. Do I really want to do that? And someone actually recommended saying, if I took a photograph of every piece of food with my phone, would I eat it? So think to yourself, do I want to photograph this whole packet of Tim Tams and admit to somebody out there?
Is that on a 1 gigabyte mega computer? Emotional eaters. Let's look at their personality traits.
This is my best friend. She is a self-confessed emotional eater. She says, Amelia, I eat when I'm happy, I eat when I'm sad, I eat when I'm bored, I eat when I'm anxious. So it's someone that they eat from an emotional place. They tend to be prone to anxiety. They can be easily bored. They can often feel lonely. So you want to be eating a diet high in omega-3s, so your oily fish, so your salmon, your mackerel, eggs, liver, walnut, broccoli, and they do say that emotional eaters, sleep is a massive issue. You want to try to get as much sleep as possible.
How do you help an emotional person?
Well, deal with the feelings. I often say if you don't do your feelings will do you. And what's happening with emotional eaters is that they're not having a voice. They're not actually saying what it is that they're upset about, and so they keep shoving it down. Well, they need to shove it down with food or with alcohol. So you need to deal with those issues.
Anxious eaters, and I mean, we all get anxious at times. People who are permanently anxious, what traits do they experience?
So they tend to be people that carry a lot of tension, especially around the shoulder area. They tend to be nail biters. You can often get headaches. If people that feel like they get heart palpitations, and you can actually get shy in certain situations as well. So they recommend that you avoid your animal proteins and you stick to more your whole grains, your dairy products, almonds, walnuts, lentils, and also a diet rich in omega-3s as well.
And if you're anxious, constantly anxious, or several times a day, what would you suggest?
You really need to look at some relaxation techniques and meditation. I think what we're dealing with here, food is such a personal relationship. You know, it started off with your relationship with your mother. Okay, that's where your food relationship starts. And then it starts with how you self-care. So the anxiety is often, again, unmet needs.
And last is the combination of impulsive and compulsive.
Yep, so they share the similar characteristics between the two. So in other words, not only are you thinking about food all day, but you're also, once you pop, you just can't stop. It's that kind of mentality. So it's and I think a lot of people will say that they fit the bill. You know, they tick a few of these boxes here, but they do say that goal setting is really, really important for these kind of people, and just trying to get as mentally balanced as you possibly can.
And again, with that up the ante combination.
Well, again, I think it comes back to having a look at what do I really want in my life and how do I want to go about getting the right support to get it. And people take the shortcut the long way, and that's often what any excessive eating is. It's like, I don't feel that I'm adult enough to get what I want, so I go back into that child state where, you know, you see with kids shove a biscuit in their mouth, you know, shove this in their mouth. And so it's like, well, I can control this, so I'm going to. And, you know, try. Any man say to a woman, do you think you should be having that? And see if you can still see clearly the next day.
I got to say, if you want to lose weight or have control of your emotions, which ends up in eating, think about your inner self. Jackie Fury, as always, Amelia Burton, terrific info.